we have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
As Iraq veterans against the war, we are resisting an occupation we once risked our lives for. We swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, but we found out the hard way that the greatest enemies of the Constitution are not to be found in the sands of some far-off land, but rather right here at home.
Thank you for joining us, folks. Deadline Live. I'm Jack Flood, AmericanFreedomRadio.com and affiliates. Thanks to all the affiliates for picking up the program today and every day. Jerry Corsi is with us. Jerome Corsi, a staff writer with WorldNet Daily, author of many, many books, including Obama Nation, which really stirred up the pudding just before Cousin Barry was put into office by his handlers. A lot to talk about here, Jerry. Again, your Red Alert report is available. Tell people how to get that if they want to get your newsletter.
It's Red Alert, redalert.wnd for worldnetdaily.com. I write it every week. It's on strategic economic issues. It's priced at under $100 for the year, about $2 an issue. You can subscribe to it monthly, actually, as well as yearly. And there's a button on the gray buttons on the left side of WorldNet Daily's homepage that will take you to the website as well as going to redalert.wnd.com.
Let me hit you with two questions regarding this alleged birther issue. First off, I'm having a hard time finding the laws and understanding the laws here. It seems that some laws were enacted in the 80s. Some laws were constituted back when Cousin Barry was born, allegedly, in Hawaii. But what I don't understand is, and maybe you can help us all understand this, explain this to us, if his mother is American, wouldn't that, by anchor, right, make him somehow an American as well? I mean, wouldn't that be a better defense than you can't see the birth certificate?
Well, no, it doesn't turn out to be enough. There's a couple of issues here. One, first of all, got to remember, it's proof that the Constitution is required to be naturally born as a U.S. citizen, not just a U.S. citizen. In other words,
so Goldwater couldn't have been president, Chester Arthur, John McCain, none of this?
No, I mean, look, Arnold Schwarzenegger is a citizen. He's not naturally born. He was born in Austria.
But his parents weren't born here either.
And his parents weren't born here. Now, the parents being born here is not enough because the issues are the following. The father was African and Kenyan as a citizen, which means that Barack Obama, when he was born, really, as Barack Obama said, came under Kenyan law, which is under British law. British law really determined that he was a dual citizen. That's an issue.
Yeah.
Secondly, the mother was 18 years old when Barack Obama was born, and some of the statutes, especially at the time, said the mother had to have like 5 years consecutively living in the United States from the age of 14, which would have meant she had to be 19.
That is correct. That law was changed in the 80s, but doesn't affect Mr. Obama.
Correct. So the truth is you'd have to have a constitutional scholar and a scholar on naturalization issues, and then you'd have to have all the facts of Barack Obama's birth record. And just like John McCain, who was born in the Panama Canal Zone, his father, John McCain's father, was in the military, and John McCain came before Congress and presented all of his birth records, including his long-form birth certificate, and Congress decided that he did meet the naturally born requirements under the Constitution. Barack Obama refused to go through the same congressional process, and the Democrats who had been questioning John McCain's naturally born status under the Constitution gave Barack Obama a pass.
Sure, and now McCain is out actually saying that this is all nonsense and he's
McCain
our president.
says everything's nonsense. McCain is, the best thing to do when you hear John McCain, I just kind of turn down the sound.
Well, I mean, I've heard Matthews and others try to bring this in. This isn't the excuse that the White House is using. But he's trying to use it, and for the reasons you explained, it can't be used yet because this has never gone to court. There's never been a case like this. There's no precedent for this, which is why I think it's important to have this case go before the Supreme Court, which they control and they're constantly denying access to.
Well, the Supreme Court eventually will probably hear this case as the pressure builds. But I think, Jack, the first threshold issue is to get the truth. As an investigative reporter, that's what I'm after. I want to see the long-form birth certificate, the original. I don't want it hidden from us any longer. And as I'm pointing out with the Obama Nation and the article I've got today about Ann Dunham, Barack Obama's mother, who really abandoned the African father staying in Hawaii while she went to Seattle 3 weeks or 4 weeks after the baby was born to go to the University of Washington. The facts contradict Barack Obama's fictional story of his birth on many different issues, including that one. So let's get the facts.
Yeah.
Now, the American public also realizes that Barack Obama has told many lies or half-truths about who he is. We've got a whole string of documents we've got here. The first issue is just to realize that President Obama has created a fictional picture of who he is and has systematically denied the American public access to all the records the American public needs to really understand who Barack Obama is. And it's a complicated life that includes, I got the records when he was in Indonesia as a child, ages 6 to 10, with his stepfather. I got the records from the schools he was enrolled in. He was enrolled as a Muslim and as an Indonesian citizen. Now, because we can't get the passport records, we can't get whether there were any adoption records. Barack Obama won't get us any records out of Indonesia. We don't know if his stepfather in Indonesia just said that or whether Barack Obama actually was adopted by his Indonesian stepfather and whether he became an Indonesian citizen formally. We don't know.
All these guys seal their records. I mean, people think that the Bushes were born in Texas, and, of course, we know that's not true. And people surmised about Bill Clinton's childhood, something he kept real locked up, but none of it pertaining to the constitutional ability to actually be the president. So this is pretty big, and it could be an issue of blackmail if people have evidence that maybe we don't have yet that could be blackmailing our president. I mean,
I'm sure that, WorldNet Daily and myself and Joseph Farah, we're not the only ones looking for the documentary evidence on Barack Obama. There's some fairly significant intelligence organizations around the world that I imagine have also made an effort, and they've probably found things we don't have the resources to find.
Yeah.